Man, check this out right here. This is wild.
Hello, is that Aaron?
Yeah, this is Aaron. Hey, sorry for being late. Yeah,
That's
it was
okay.
late to me, so yeah.
Thanks for...
For a man who claimed to be Aaron Pearson, he certainly didn't look like him.
Hey, sorry for
In
being
fact,
late.
he had a decidedly North Korean air about him.
Thanks for...
I just confused with the meeting time. Sorry for that.
You're based in California?
Yeah, that's correct. I'm in California at this moment.
Is it early or late there? What time is it there?
It's almost 5:30 p.m.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna just keep it a buck with you. That man doesn't sound anything close to somebody in California, what, fresh off the fucking boat. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because this individual that you're seeing right here, I'm guessing that they hacked into this person's webcam or something like this. The thing is this, man. And this is not like being prejudiced or bigoted or whatever the fuck it is. People can tell what you are based on your voice. For example, a lot of older black men have a more gruffer voice, right? I'm hoping as I'm getting up there in age, my voice doesn't change into something like that. You know what I'm saying? I hope my voice doesn't change. I hope my voice stays the same where it is. But you can hear in vocal cords typically when a person is a certain race. It's not 100%, but if I'm on the phone with a woman and she's trying to pretend to be a man, she may convince me like 30-40% of the way, but the longer we talk, the more anomalies in that person's speech I will notice, the more cracks in their voice or pretending. We're not stupid. This person right here, like 4 times while they were talking, even the way that he pronounced, he said what time it is, he said 5 o'clock, 5:30 or something like this, you can hear it. He's missing vowels when he talks. Right? This is kind of like black people. For people who don't know, they call everyone black or everyone African or whatever the fuck it is. There's differences in people, the way people talk. You know what I'm saying? For example, a lot of subculture blacks, they just use a lot of slang, right? They don't like to say a lot of words, and depending on where the black person's from, a lot of them, like if they're from not California, if they're from like Philadelphia or Chicago, they sound completely different than a black person from New York or a black person from somewhere else. While you have Caribbeans that they don't pronounce a lot of their vowels, right? They when they say three, they say tree. You know what I'm saying? They don't even say the N word. You got Africans that don't even say the N word the proper way. You could tell immediately they're not. Even though that shouldn't be a marker for you to be black, but they don't even say nigga right. They say nigga. They can't even say it right. So anyway, let's continue because this is hilarious.
Our would-be employee has
It's almost 5:30 p.m.
Uh-huh. Early or late there? What time is it there?
It's almost 5:30 p.m.
Uh-huh.
My man said 5:03 p.m. He couldn't even say 5:30. Or did he say 5 p.m.?
Early or late there? What time is it there?
It's almost 5:30 p.m.
Uh-huh.
Our would-be employee has passed his first test. Next, he outlines his technical experience.
I have worked on modernizing the legacy code bases.
In what looks suspiciously like he's reading from a script.
I see here your CV says you're in New York University.
Yeah, that's correct.
Where are you living? What suburb?
I'm sorry?
Where in New York did you live?
I'm in west coast of the New York. I'm in west part of the New York area.
What becomes clear is that
What the fuck does that even mean? He's in the west part of New York? What? My man asked him, what suburb did you live in? Right? He could have said what hood you lived in. This man couldn't even answer that. And here's the thing. This guy who's impersonating someone else that lives in the United States is the best that team has. Because don't think this guy's by himself, right? This is a whole operation, right? Don't think that this guy's by himself. Apparently, this guy's from North Korea, which is insane. Don't think that this guy's by himself, and this is the best guy they got. And I guarantee you what would happen here, and what I've heard that they kind of do, they'll do these interviews en masse. They get hired, and then what they'll end up doing is trying to talk to somebody in America to like connect their fucking laptop or some shit like that, and they'll pay them off every month while they're siphoning and spying for North Korea or scamming. It's ridiculous. Okay, let's continue.
Fake Aaron is giving it his best shot, even if convincing answers are sometimes out of reach.
In person, can you make an in-person induction? We can do it. We can do it at our office in the US or the office in Australia.
I mean, in-person interview, in-person introduction?
I mean, do you have plans to come to Australia?
No, actually, that is a long journey.
That's okay.
Not near, actually.
Aaron, we have found sometimes that we have some people from North Korea coming into our company. What are your views on North Korea?
I'm not sure. I don't have any idea about that.
Kim Jong-un, have you heard of him?
No, I don't know.
He's a leader of North Korea. Do you know Kim Jong-un?
I have no idea.
We have in Australia sanctions. It means we cannot deal with anyone from North Korea. Are you comfortable with that?
Such questions are being asked at this interview.
Can I tell you, Aaron, because I have a photo of Aaron Pearson. It's a different. You look. The photo I have is of a black
sorry,
American.
I'm not interested anymore. Bye.
Now, here's the thing. I'm guessing that this guy who took a picture and got this interview, who popped up at this interview, they're not even hiding the fact that they're not the same people anymore. They're not, like, again, they've been doing this for so long. They're not even hiding it. This has been going. Listen, this is how a lot of interviews happen when they hire, like, say, for example, Indians in the United States. Not all Indians, right? But this is how a lot of them get these fucking jobs, right? What ends up happening with any of these groups, the Chinese or Indians or whatever like that, or any other fucking group that's doing the scamming shit, what they're doing is that they're sitting there and they're applying for jobs in mass. Well, not even, because, well, I'm pretty sure this has happened for some Indians or whatever like this. They'll have an employer or somebody basically going through the process for them. Right, and it's really shady. It's like a whole bunch of undercutting shit, and this is the reason why a lot of people should be against automation when it comes down to hiring or AI. A lot of things that they're trying to do to, like, basically speed up the process, because you don't even know who the fuck you're talking to anymore. That's how bad it's getting.
So, Melissa, this Aaron has just scurried off. Who is that really likely to be?
This is one of the personas that we've been tracking associated with Aaron Pearson. Our colleagues back in the States have been following these guys for a few years. It's under investigation right now. These names have been turned over to law enforcement, but it is an IT worker from North Korea.
Also going by the names David Rose and David Ye, Fake Aaron is well known to DTEC. He's a prolific interviewee, whose primary mission, it seems, is to sit interviews and snare jobs.
His performance wasn't great, but nor was it terrible. What does that tell us?
No, it was fucking. What do you mean it wasn't terrible? That shit was horrendous. That shit was a word I'm gonna use that I haven't heard in a long time. Vomitrocious from Arthur from PBS. It was fucking terrible. There was so many. There was so, like, again, I get it. Maybe it wasn't terrible to some people. You can't even answer. And you being in New York City, apparently you can't even answer where you came from New York City. My man said he was in the west side of New York City. What the fuck? Yo, do you? That's that North Korea, South Korea shit. There's only two sides. Get the fuck out of here, dog. This is the thing, though. They're playing, and mind you, this is happening in Australia. Now, Australia apparently has sanctions that they do not fuck with North Koreans. I don't know what it is, what happened over there, more or less, but they're saying that this is not even the first time that this has happened, right? So they're aware of this shit. How bad is it? Like, mind you, all he's doing is sitting in and siphoning jobs so that they can also spy and etc. etc. I'm pretty sure the United States probably has done something like this to some extent or whatever like this. But here's the thing. Don't be surprised. And here's the thing. How do you think all of these IT jobs are going? Do you think that they're really dealing with people or that's even in the same country? No, this is overseas shit. So anybody who's trying to get an overseas job, how can you do it if fucking this guy is holding up all of these interviews and stuff like that and getting other people to puppet these jobs and steal them?
You know, he's probably had 10 other interviews today. So this is just part of the standard operating procedure for these guys. They take as many interviews as they can get. They get jobs. They probably have their own version of KPIs. This is, you know, a criminal syndicate, basically.
crazy. Absolutely goddamn crazy. But it gets a little better. It gets a little better. So Eli's Turkey says 3.5 minutes of 60 minutes being racist. The evidence he's from North Korea, there is none. I love seeing these flags pop up on comments, because what these flags entail, whenever you see like a flag like this or a trans flag or whatever, or somebody with multiple different flags in their fucking name and bio before where they even are, where they've lived their entire life, it just goes to show that you're going to hear the dumbest fucking take ever. So just before we get into this, location check. That what Australasia? What? That doesn't say Australia. Where is this place? Okay, right. So we check this out. Australia refers to the regional inhabitants of Australia. Okay, so there's extra to it. New Zealand and surrounding islands like Melissa. Okay, I've never heard of these places, but I mean, it doesn't matter because anything outside of the United States ain't important. Hoorah! Anyway, oh, we got a duck here. Anyway, I always do this shit, right? I always do. Bro, why did the first thing under this say anal sex discourse and he proposed it? Is this a porn bot? Okay, anyway. All right. Let's just go back slightly, please. Anyway, 3.5 minutes of 60 minutes being racist. The evidence he's from North Korea, there is none. Dog. If somebody sounds African, somebody sounds Japanese, somebody sounds like something, and they're pretending that there's something else and you can tell that they're not that thing, more than likely the thing that they sound like is the thing that they are. If it quacks like a duck but says it's a cat, and you know it's not a fucking cat, and you say it's a duck, who did this fucking idiot comes forward? Oh, but who's to say it's not a horse? Anyway, he applied as a black man. He can be Chinese scammer, not North Korean spies. There's no relevant link to North Korea. Says the person with multiple different numbers in their fucking name. When was this account made? Okay, a while ago, I guess. Where's this account located? I love doing Indonesia. Yo, okay, so here's the thing. You want to know why Indians, Africans, and, whatever, the Chinese or whatever like this, they love AI. They love sitting there and asking Grok. Americans do this too, but they don't utilize it the way that these other groups are doing it. They utilize AI, and basically what they'll do is they'll use AI to form opinions. They'll use AI to make slop content. I am one of the people who always brings this up, and this is the reason why I'm so paranoid. Whenever somebody has a comment, I like 9 out of 10 times I always check the location before I even read their comment, because a lot of these fucking people are using AI. And because a lot of them don't even have an education, they're just using AI and forming views or whatever like this, or making content. It is the most ridiculous shit, but they love the idea of fucking AI. So of course they're gonna all come out here and be the defense force of this kind of shit, and for no reason. No reason. This person who still does not have a picture since 2018, right? Which I'm surprised is not an AI slot picture. He could be a Chinese scammer and not North Korean. Indonesia, sit this one out. Sit this one out, North Korea. I mean, sit this one out, fucking Indonesia. Shut up. You realize you can tell a Korean and Chinese apart by accent and appearance. Craig David says, North Korea is mostly closed and block information in and out. Oh, boy. How do you know someone is North Korean accent if you're not familiar with it? I know Chinese accents and Japanese accents because they are widely available on any media source. So what happens if you run into another North Korean that says that that's a North Korean man? Or what happens if you run into a South Korean that knows that it's a North Korean? Then it's acceptable. So why should it be acceptable that you know Japanese and Chinese accents just because you say that you're more familiar with it? What if other people are familiar with other accents? Why are you more valid than other fucking people? This is the shit. Again, it's stupid, people. North Koreans speak Korean. North Koreans aren't so close that no one interacts with them. You just don't see much about them because you don't speak Korean or live near their country. Craig David replies with, I heard those familiar with North Korean accents can tell North Korean face right away are mainland Chinese near the border of North Korea. And South Korea themselves, definitely not me or random Western people who only see North Korea. See, so you're making a blanketed judgment saying that nobody but other North Koreans or South Koreans can possibly tell. But then I'm so tired of stupid people. Again, this is a problem. I think Donald Trump said something recently about birthright citizenship and how you have Chinese billionaire or millionaires basically sending their pregnant wives to America and then basically making those babies American citizens, and then they can turn out to be spies later down the line, which is harmful to America. Listen, this has been going on for a long fucking time, right? And if more of these videos come out exposing this shit, people need to open their fucking eyes to this shit, right? There should be, mind you, this is Australia that's calling it out. So America, you already know America knows about this shit, right? If they already had enough evidence to put this shit on 60 Minutes in Australia, right? What's to say? Mind you, my man said Black American man. I'm glad that term is becoming more popular instead of just an African American. I think that in the next probably 5 years, Black American will be distinguishable from African or Caribbean. Hopefully we get to that fucking point, right? But again, the fact of the matter that people are noticing this type of shit just shows how bad it is, or how much they don't care about how blatant they're doing, because they don't give two shits. They never gave two shits. This shit, you guys, this is unrelated but related. You guys remember back in the day there was a game called Command and Conquer, and you had Russia versus America versus the Chinese, and so America's units was about quality, while Russia was about overwhelming strength, right? So their units were more expensive. They were very they gobbled up fucking resources, but they produced the most powerful units, but also dangerously, kind of. And then you had China had the weakest units, but I remember there was a special unit China had that it was an invisible person. Was it invisible? I can't tell if it was invisible. It was a motherfucker that came out on a laptop. Or was it a woman? I can't remember. I think it was a woman. So you have legendary units, which are game-changing units that are one of the hardest units to produce, but they could change the tide of battle. Do you want to know what the Chinese had? It was I think it was a woman. Was it a woman? I can't remember. I know there was an Asian girl with psychic properties, and she was just launching fucking planes at you from out of the sky and landing on your buildings. A fucking unit would walk up to your base. I believe invisible. I think it was a woman. She would open a laptop, and every time you made money, she would take a portion of your fucking money. And the longer she sat there, I think she stole more and more money. It was hilarious. I know I'm not bugging. Hold on. What is it? CNC Chinese unit that stole money. In the Command and Conquer General series, there are two primary. Oh, so it was two. There were two primary Chinese units capable of generating or stealing money. The Black Lotus, a Chinese hero unit, is master hacker who can steal $1,000 at a time from an enemy supply center. She's a stealth commando who also captures buildings and disabled vehicles. And then they had two, so I wasn't bugging. And then you got a hacker, the standard infantry unit that generates a passive stream of income by hacking the internet. As hackers gain experience, their rate of income increases from the initial 5 to 10 per second. Per second, they steal $10 from you per second. Anyway, I'll catch you guys next. Peace.